Hey everyone, appreciate you all being here at USA Crypto Group for this AMA session. Today we have a project called HAAGA, Giraffes, and they won the Eagles Den, I believe 2 weeks ago. So it's a pleasure having them back here with us today to dive deep into the project. So with that being said, I'd like to welcome Adam from the team. Adam, great to have you here. If you can start out introducing yourself, talking about your team, and giving us a bit of background to your insight into your background experience.
All right, yeah. Well, my name's Adam Little, from Minnesota. Just a normal person, pretty much. Our team, I guess, if you wanted to label it, would be like the entire community. We don't have particular number of anybody that does particular things, so to speak. It's we're kind of all a really big team, is how I look at it, and I'm just a part of that. I'm not any more special than the rest of them, and I like to keep it that way. It's funner. So that's kind of how that is. And the experience side, I guess just the crypto side for me is I've seen the worst of the worst, I guess, if you wanted to put it that way. Tried everything and seen the bad of it. So I've seen the side that I would absolutely not want to be in as an investor. So being on the other side of it, that's the number one goal to avoid, to do that to an investor. So, that's where the drive came from. I'm not a computer developer by day job. I pour concrete. This is just something that with a little bit of know-how and some help you can do. And so I've only been it's about 2017 I got introduced to crypto. So it's been a learn as you go, and there's still a whole bunch to learn. Don't get me wrong, but you learn more every day, and get around a good group of people, you learn it faster. So. The experience, I guess, it's hard to put it, years versus knowledge, but I guess I'd kind of be a noob compared to the knowledge that is in the space, but enough knowledge to be dangerous yet at the same time, because you can get some stuff done too. So it's kind of the background. Not like a computer brainiac or anything like that, but everything's pretty easy to do if you just set your mind to it. So.
Awesome. Appreciate the introduction there, Adam. Yeah, so 2017, I think you came into space around the same time as I did. I came up around, I think 16, 15, around there. It's been a long time. So you've been around for a while. But like you said, the technology has evolved where, if anyone wants to launch a project, it can be done very easily. And it's a matter of just learning a little bit here and there. It seems like that's what you did. And you also have a full-time job. So that's just to show that anyone can do it. So with that, Adam, why high-ass a giraffe ass? What makes you decide, or how did the idea come about?
Well, the name came after the idea of the meme coin. I guess they worked hand in hand. The HAAGA Giraffes S is something that's been around. I guess Minnesota, we probably got more weird sayings. Every part of the world has their own little, one-liners and such. But I guess in this area, it was just kind of something in the construction industry when I started that, everybody, if you messed something up, or if you brought somebody the wrong tool or whatever it might have been, or if you were gone on break a little extra long, you were high as a giraffe's ass, and that's just what it was. You cut that wrong because you're high as a giraffe's ass, and it was something I didn't really think about then. But then, fast forward all these years, it's like, the number one goal, in my opinion, if you were going to launch a meme coin in the space today, it has to be different. It has to have the meme ability and the originality. And then when I got to thinking about, well, what would I name it? Boom, high as a giraffe's ass hit me. And then the Google search started and the ticker search, and there wasn't one. It didn't exist, not even close. At all. So then it was like no brainer. High as a giraffe's ass, meme coin, originality, and it's got some sentiment because it's been with me since I was younger. So it just seemed to fit what I wanted to do, or what the goal would have been perfectly, in every scenario of the book, so to speak.
Yeah, it's definitely a very catchy name, and it definitely gets a lot of attention for sure. Now, over in Minnesota, what is a preferred drug to be high as a giraffe's ass?
Well, actually, the cannabis industry just became legal recreational in Minnesota, so it's flower for me is the choice. I just can't beat a good, nice, pure flower. Comes out of the ground just like it was made, and it doesn't get any more natural than that in terms of just a recreational activity. But at the same time, it's the medical side, the benefits of it. So, I'm a big flower guy, and there's a lot of seems like a flower dominant area, so to speak. But them vaping cart things are pretty popular for the sneakers. You can be in a public space. Well, I guess before when it was an issue. Now you don't really have to hide it, because of the legalities. But yeah, I mean, overall, we're a flower dominant state, I guess I would call it.
Yeah, I'm moving Washington, and yeah, we are actually one of the very first states that got legalized. Marijuana is actually legal over here. Where I'm at, you can find literally a weed shop on almost every single block. It's crazy. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, how long has it been since Minnesota passed the law?
Well, that just happened the first of this year. It was put into motion.
Really?
So it
Wow.
just became legal, and it's actually right now. So they're expecting the earliest applications to be issued and effective by like the first month in 2025. I was just reading the article on the up because it's in the Senate right now. They're figuring out how many licenses they want to issue and such like that, and then they're having it's like a voting deal, like a survey voting to try to help establish the rules and regulations, from like the culture, so to speak. So they're going to get some good feedback on that, I think, to make it like a pretty smooth transition to the full rollout. But I mean, I'm right there in line, keeping up with as it's proceeding through the Senate to try to stay up to date with everything that's going to need to be done when that button gets pressed and it's the door's open and you can apply. I mean, I want to be in there right the first time and not have to lose out, so to speak, because either did something wrong or didn't know something or wasn't ready for it. I mean, I'm going to be there literally waiting for the ink to dry and then hand it in because I want to be proactive on it. So it's in the Senate. We don't know like exact clarifications and such. We have ideas of the number of permits and that and a rough idea of the time frame, but it literally just became legal the first of the year. So
Wow, I'll tell you what, Adam. So one of the biggest regret that I have is that at the time I had a fiance at the time, and Washington was going through the early stage, just kind of like what you guys are going through right now. And I really wanted to apply for the license, but my fiance did not agree with me. She thought I was becoming a drug dealer, whatever, whatever. That wasn't my intention. I'm a business guy, like you said. It's actually the license is actually very limited of how many licenses they're going to give out. So the people that I know that actually got the license, now they're literally just renting out those licenses, and they're making like at least $15,000 a month just to rent out a license. So yeah, I think you should be the very first one in line and do whatever you can to get the license. At least, I don't know, we have your family, friends, let them know as well. But man, that license is worth a lot of money. So yeah, I wish I was in Minnesota right now. I'll probably, really trying to get the license for sure.
yeah,
So
and
yeah,
they're
it's
fairly affordable too. Sorry, but yeah. So
very affordable, very affordable. But yeah, it's every state's gonna have a very like a amount of license they can give out only. So it's very limited. So yeah, get it for sure. Get it, man.
yep.
It's literally a residual income forever. You're talking about 15 grand. So that's how much these guys are renting their marijuana license for. And I think when
Right.
we first
Yeah.
started out, with that license, you can also grow like 15 plants for recreational use at home. So that was Washington state law. It still is. So I'm not sure what Minnesota is like, but and 15 plants. I mean, that's a lot, right? That's
Oh
a lot of
yeah,
plants.
done correctly. I know the early releases that they have it. It's actually broke down. I think it was like six or seven like subsections of licensing. As far as just a strictly grow producer type person to grow, produce, distribute the whole nine. They had different sections of within, so to speak. So you could just do a portion of it, or you could get one to do every step along the way, or just distribute. So that's, I guess, a positive thing, because then that's going to open the door for people to pursue a different area, and it might not be as, you might be able to get in here and still use that side of it, but people didn't know that, or you know what I mean, kind of like a gray area, but not really. Find the pros and cons out about what license can help you do what. So it's I think that's a very good thing that they don't have it just this is it. They've got different classes of it, and that's gonna, I think, help.
Right, right. All right. So hi ass a giraffe's ass. Okay. Very catchy name. Now, when did you launch the project?
So our original launch that we did was December 1st, and what ended up happening with that, everything was going great. We were bullish. Everything was moving up. Everything was like perfect, and it was so perfect that I was going to give all of the tax to the holders for rewards. I was going to change the tax structure so that every bit of the tax went back to the holders in the shape of rewards, and it like messed the contract up. Did something where couldn't sell, couldn't buy. I mean, it was screwed. So we had to relaunch, which you never want to have to try to do that. I mean, that's not the goal, but it was the most seamless, pain-free relaunch I think you could ever ask for. There was 90% or just over 90% of the tokens were sent back, so we could try to recover some of the liquidity, because the liquidity pool was locked for 2 years, so we can't get to that. So to get back whatever we could to not reduce it on the relaunch. So that went really well. Nobody worried, so to speak, about when. There was no FUD, no questions. It was a absolutely positive experience, and we just decided that we were going to airdrop even the holders that hadn't sent in them last little bit. We just sent tokens to every wallet, because if they felt safe with their investment and walked away from it for a little while, we shouldn't punish them. That's what we wanted. Buy a bag and forget about it. So we just dropped them to everybody. So if somebody comes back in a month and is like, well, what happened here? Well, your tokens are there. Just put the contract in if you don't see them, and they're there. So that was a hurdle that we had to cross right away, and we crossed it with ease, so to speak. It was a seamless process, and so that was really reassuring to me. Just the community that was behind it, because that relaunch process, enough people have seen them. They go really sour in a hurry, or they're not even sour, but they get that impression, just from the vibe. And we had no bit of that. It was great. So, yeah.
Right, right. And yeah, because on the ego stand, the first time when you guys were here, and the chart, I mean, it looked like it did not have that relaunch vibe to it, right? It was just straight up. And I remember it was sitting around 60 or 40,000 market cap. And right after that, it shot up to, and you mentioned earlier, it shot up to like 120. So I'm not sure where it's at right now, but I assume the chart's still looking pretty healthy right now, right?
It's it's healthy, but we're at like a healthy. I guess my note I got written down, there was a slew of buys that come in, but I think we're right around like 50K. So we had, with anything, with a fair like stealth launch or whatever term you want to put on it, you get a lot of people that get in with big bags really cheap, and so you just kind of wait, because they're going to sell and take profit. I mean, that's the goal, and we're happy that they do it. I mean, sometimes you wish that there's a respectful way to do it versus just bomb the chart. So we kind of had some chart bombing go on, but with 11% rewards, that's kind of like slot machine just going over and over again when they're selling. So it didn't cause a panic. The other holders still held, but I think it was just a lot of those people that got in for. I think somebody posted in the chat like $13 or $15 got them like a couple $1,000. So I mean, the return on investment for a project like this in a month and a half, and they're out. They got their money, and we're still strong. We did a manual LP ad, so we're even stronger, as terms of that goes. So it's good. I mean, it doesn't hurt us. A rewards contract needs the volume. I mean, that's point blank. So up or down, as long as it's healthy, there's nothing wrong with it. So we had a really healthy, cleaning or purge, if you want to call it, or whatever. But the long-term holders are still here, and we're just going to start that next leg up again. So
Yeah, definitely. And just so the community knows, this is a reward token, which gives you XRP rewards. The last time you came in, I did throw some money in just because I just like the name and what you guys stand for. It's just a catchy name. And I opened up my MetaMask. I didn't even, I kind of forgot about it. I bought some in, and how MetaMask prompts you, like,
Mm-hmm.
you have some money in this token, whatever. So I just accepted and said XRP. And I'm trying to figure it out because I totally forgot that actually you guys were doing XRP, and and I remember that it's actually from you guys' project. So yeah, I got some XRP from your project since then. I'm not sure. I'm gonna just leave it there and see where it goes. But yeah, so it's kind of nice getting some XRP rewards. XRP. I was actually one of the very investors in XRP as well. I think XRP is not going anywhere. I think it's actually going to be one of the top projects. So right now it is already. I think it was in the top 4 now. And I think it's just the beginning. It didn't perform like the way I wanted it to perform right after they beat the SEC. I thought it was gonna like go way up, right? But they didn't do that. But I think XRP is a very solid project. And what makes you decide, Adam? What makes you decide XRP? I mean, there's got to be a reason why you chose XRP as a reward token.
Yeah, I'm like-minded, just like you said there. I believe XRP is a beast. It's gonna be something. And it was kept under wraps for a reason by people for a reason. I think just kind of my opinion on that. That whole big situation between XRP and Ethereum goes pretty deep if you start to kind of dive in there. And then the SEC, being friends with Ethereum doesn't help XRP. And well, why? Well, because XRP is a payment processing machine in terms of payment solutions. That's what they're set up for. That's what they do. And Ethereum didn't want that. They don't want nobody to beat them. So I love XRP. I love the fact that it's still the number 4 coin, and you couldn't hardly buy it anywhere in the United. They delisted it everywhere. They did all of this stuff that they could have done to run a project into the ground. Yet there it is, number 4 still. And actually, I think, like, don't 100% quote me on this, but this last little red event we had in the overall market with Bitcoin and Ethereum saw outflows, whereas XRP received inflow. So if the money's starting to change, so to speak, like, it didn't do the drastic green needle, but I think it's gonna happen. And when it happens, it's gonna melt faces like you haven't seen, because you read about it and you don't know where it's gonna go. So now if you think about to create a project that you can reward somebody in a token like that you believe is going to be a player with the big boys in the space. Like, your meme coin might never get there. That's fine. I can accept that. We'll be a fun. We're going to work damn hard to get wherever we can get to. Don't get me wrong. But if we don't make it, we don't make it. But hey, maybe somebody's got 500 XRP in their bag that they got for free in rewards. So when XRP touches $1, $2, $50, $500, I mean, we don't know where it's going to go. Just how valuable are those rewards in the bag going to be? I mean, it's a very optimistic way to look at it, but it's reality, so to speak, I believe, with XRP, because it's got some boomtown potential. It can, when it takes off, it's going to light up like the 4th of July. So it just kind of helps. It adds a bullish factor to you. Anytime you can pair with something like that, or reward in that, it's bullish to say the least. But the main thing is you don't get, everybody gets payday, wants their money, and then they sell. Like, if you're issuing a native token, paydays or reward days, your chart gets like wrecked because everybody sells their rewards. Unless some people compound them, but otherwise it's really hard on the chart sometimes. Versus not paying in the native, and paying in a bullish native like that. It drives. You get some people that might not like meme coins, but they love XRP, so they come and buy a little bit of the meme coin just to get the XRP. That's a win in my book. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we want. Little buys, big buys, doesn't matter. All them little ones add up to a big one at the end. So I just love XRP. I love a lot of other tokens that are kind of maybe not so known about. And that's a luxury we have with an unrenounced contract, is maybe XRP does its $500 run, and all of a sudden, now there's the next one, or or just for instance, Zcash. I don't know if many people know about Zcash or anything, but that was actually the first cryptocurrency I ever bought was Zcash. It's exactly the same as Bitcoin. It's just private. It's got more privacy features. It's exactly the same as Bitcoin. So you think about where that might go in relationship to that, so that's another option down the road is if we see another potential groundbreaker or outbreak breakout coin, we can change the rewards to that coin if we desire, if the community votes on it. Because I would never push buttons and change anything without people being aware and everybody being in a mutual agreement or whatever. You want a majority type rule, but everybody would understand it. So it's just that I wanted to have it something incentive. You know what I mean? Like stable coins are okay, but if you get $5 in stable coin, a month later you still got $5. But if you get 10 XRP today, 2 months from now, it's not guaranteed, but there's a pretty good chance that it's going to be worth more than it was today. So it's not like a passive income, so to speak, but it's a solid return on your investment because your investment stays put and you're just getting a return on it. So it's, you could look at it and break it down in a lot of different ways and make it sound really cool. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, in a basic, simple way, it just pays to hold as long as we get the volume. And with a token like XRP, that's going to move enough and create enough, buzz and everything that if we just can relate it and keep it, I just love it. I love XRP, and there's a lot of people in the group that strictly bought because of the XRP. So, I mean, that says a lot, just how much they must like XRP, yeah. But then they feel safe to hold your coin to get that. It kind of you're building trust with all those people that maybe didn't believe in a meme coin, but now this meme coin is giving them XRP, and they love XRP. So now they love this meme coin, and they're going to tell other people they love the meme coin. So it's just kind of a circle of life, pay it forward philosophy that eventually will take over.
Yeah, XRP. I would say they probably have the one of the best community out there. Very loyal, huge community. I mean, any time of the day you can go to YouTube and you can see new XRP video every single day, hundreds of thousands of tweets every single day, because it is a solid project. And you're right. I think XRP. I think if you look at it, the pros, the upside is huge. I think it's only going to go up only on XRP. So yeah, I think that's a great decision. But like you mentioned, you have a contract where I guess even though it's not renounced, which I think, I mean, it's great. I don't think every contract should be renounced. So that way you can actually change things on it, like you mentioned. So let's say down the line, like you mentioned, you can change the Zcash or whatever you see the potential of any coin. You can always change that, change the reward coins, for the community. So I think that's great as well. Now, talking about the community, XRP have amazing community. Being a meme coin, Adam, you know that it requires a community. What are the plans? What are the plans to really trying to push this your project and really get it out there?
Well, just staying proactive on the involvement and building off what we have. I mean, I don't want to set expectations too high and say we're going to have 10,000 members by the end of the month or holders, so to speak. But slow organic growth is our key. None of us are in a hurry, so to speak. If it takes a little bit longer to build that, it's a stronger build than a steroid induced roid freak out, you know what I'm saying, type of thing. It's a slower, natural build. So it stays around longer. You don't just all of a sudden lose it one day when you quit using it. So I guess in relationship, like if you get some slow weeks in the crypto space, sometimes you don't lose all your muscle or you don't lose all your holders because it was just a little slow. They know that next week's going to pick up. So it kind of goes together, I guess, with that a little bit. But our community, I guess, is every day we're getting stronger, and the community members do more than just like work for their bag, so to speak. They're proactive on ideas, and they're not scared to bring them to the table, and we talk about them. To have a strong community, the community has to feel like they have a say in it. They're not going to want to input any more of their time or anything if whatever they are putting in now doesn't feel like it's appreciated or going anywhere. But if they're going to put some time in and some ideas, and you know, and now it's heard, and maybe the next update or whatever we pursue is acted upon or used with another person's ideas, well then that tells, that reassures that our voice does matter. So from a holder standpoint, it's something that I would like to see, or even on the investor side, like I don't even consider myself a developer. I don't like using the term because it's just a term. You know what I mean? It's a fancy term for like button pushing. It was an idea that people loved, and we pushed it together. Like since day one, the community has been right behind me, helping. Like if it needed a hand with this, or group management, so to speak. That's kind of a big important thing when you first start and launch. Is if you don't keep that in check and keep the group regulated, and you let strays and people that shouldn't be in there start causing all that, it can get out of hand pretty fast. But if you got a loyal group in there that does everything they can do to either answer questions, or if it's a straight, we got to get rid of this guy, throw the hammer. There's a lot of admins in there, and it's just a lot of leaning on each other when we need it. Or for instance, we had a community member who had some family, some bad luck come about, to say the least, involving his ex and partner and children. So we did a little NFT. We whipped some NFTs up, the graphics. A community member, she made them, donated them. We put them out on a mint, and 100% of that mint was going to get sent to him and his family in their time of need. So we've sent a little bit over there. We've had some minted, and that's just the little bit you can do as a community. It might not be a lot, but it's what you can do, and it means a lot to people that aren't used to that. And in a community that's so full of scams and rugs, and when you got people that are willing to go out of their way to help somebody out, it says a lot about just how strong we are. Or when community members are offering to pay a giveaway comp, or proactive in ideas on fun ways to get involvement via Twitter comp, so then it takes a lot of the stressful thinking that you have to try to do by yourself, and it evens it out, and you get a better end result because now you've got more ideas. So I'm very, very proactive on trying to get as many or as much feedback before you make any decisions, because you don't want time zones are so weird. Like they still messed me up. So you think that you gave somebody enough time, but their day didn't even start yet. So you almost just have to know that you got at least 24 hours, if not 30, just to make a chance for everybody to become aware of it. And sometimes that don't seem long enough, but you can't wait forever to make decisions either. But they compare, you can't compare it, I guess, but when you look at like some of the other very, very, very successful memes and meme communities out there, we resemble it at this age in terms of the strength and the bond, I guess you would have it. So there's some little things we'll probably do along the way to, like, a lot of them groups that do that, where they get the profile pictures and all that, where their presence really becomes felt. Like that's kind of like the next wave, like in the social media move is, well, where the heck are all these draft pictures coming from? Well, it stirs up the next buzz, and then the next wave. So you just keep building from one to the next, and next time 10 more people are in there. And if you're doing your job right and the chart, everything's good, well, then they're going to do their, and you're going to get 10 more people. It's like an upside down pyramid, but the holders are winning, so it pays to do a little bit of work, and it's easy to see it in this community because if you have an idea and you DM me, or if you throw it up in the group, we'll talk about it. It's easier that way, because you don't want half of the people mad, or you don't want to just do anything and not ask, because it's not the goal. I'm not the smartest one in the room. I'm not scared to tell everybody that. And with all the knowledge we have, we might as well pool it together. And everybody is cool with that, because they know they're not the smartest ones either. And together, we're pretty fucking smart. So if we keep that mentality and just keep working together, use a little bit from him, a little bit from her, a little bit, well, we're golden. And the holder strength is, like you saw the chart, when you religiously don't have any cells and it's looking like a honeypot because nobody's selling. It's just because nobody's selling, like it's great. They are an extended family, to say the least. They're the best group of people in the space, I think, in terms of community relationship at this young age. I mean, we are, we have a blast, to say the least. Anybody that gets to hang out in the Telegram, and there's some slow days, there's some whatever, but in terms of a community and strength and bond at this age, and I think we rank right there amongst the leaders.
It seems like it. It seems like it for a project at this very small market cap. It seems like you have built a very solid, base. Meaning that you have a very good followers, and the room is very active as well, considering how small it is. But at the same time, that's just to show that how early the project is. And I think as long as you guys are committed, as long as you committed as a leader, and if you have a solid base like that, like you mentioned, the only way is, just it's going to grow, right? And I think sometimes it's better to grow slowly, because so that way you can build a solid foundation, to believe of the project. So I think that's very important as well, because I've seen so many times where the project, it can shoot up, right? You see like 10x, whatever, 5x right out the gate. And guess what? It just falls right back down. Look at your chart. Like I said last time when you guys were here, it was like almost like a honeypot. It was like 40, 50,000, and there wasn't any sell at all, right? And right after that, shot to 120. Now it seems like it's back to where the first time you were here. But I think this is where you have the solid base. So you have really two holders right now, where it's at right now. So for those that are listening, right, do your own research. But if you study the chart, this is actually where they came in, no sales at all, pretty much, and seems like around this area is pretty solid, if you ask me. So yeah, no, good job at building community, Adam. I think community is very important. But you can have the best idea out there, but if you don't have a solid community, as we've seen so many times, it doesn't mean much. So I'm glad that you put a lot of emphasis on that.
Yeah, it's, I'll be the first to say, from launch, I mean, not having like 5, 6, like an organized team, right? Like they all just stepped in and assumed positions where they were needed and helped, because it's something that would have been overwhelmed to try to do myself, and I almost kind of tried it, but they were all right there waiting, and I mean, without even ask, it's remarkable. Like you just don't see it around in the space, and slowly but surely we're all telling our friends, and and it's becoming just a big ass strong place where somebody knows somebody, and because you know him, you trust him. I mean, it's the circle of trust and strength is just so, it's I don't know, it's kind of hard to put into words because I've never been a part of it in any of the other ones. I missed out, so to speak, or I never, but from an outsider kind of looking in, I kind of would imagine that this is the feeling that they had. I mean, I can't see how they didn't,
That's awesome, brother. That's awesome to hear, especially from a leader or the owner of the project. So that means that you are doing something right over there. It'd be awesome if eventually you build this up. Like high ass or giraffe ass is the place where a place where a community can get high together. Now, have you guys done anything like that before?
Well, actually, kind of goes in with one of our kind of like verbal or mutual friend partnership kind of in the space with newer projects, the World Record Token. So they do world record attempts and such like that, where they'll submit paperwork and all that on their end. It's just a matter of getting the record for them. So we toyed with that idea, and we're throwing it around still to try to organize it, like the largest online like dope circle, so to speak, where you could verify the largest group of people smoking pot together online and set a Guinness World Book of Record for it, and get in the book. So we want to do something like that. And talking with Maurice over there, he's all jacked for it. I mean, he's pumped. He wants to do it, but we want to make sure we get in the book, whatever we do. We're not going to do a failed attempt. So it's going to have to be something like that would be really hard to organize. It'd have to take a lot of planning and then a lot of commitment from everybody to get there at that same time. And then whatever it would take for, to make it like official according to the book and stuff. So, I mean, that's down the road a little bit, but it's a fun something that would be pretty badass to say that you're in a meme coin and you held the world record for the largest dope circle. And you know what I mean? It just adds to the what the hell are they doing over there level, like the fun level of just, yeah, we're having fun at the end of the day, safe, good fun.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't have to be right out the gate beating the record. I think you can, maybe starting out with like a slogan, right? High ass a giraffe's ass, and put a slogan right underneath it. A place where we get high together, some shit like that, right? Something like that on that line, and you just slowly building up, because I know within the crypto space, especially in the crypto space, you have the demographic is, I would probably say, 93% male, right? And having known that marijuana is actually being legalized everywhere. Actually, Thailand is actually one of the biggest populations for us, in the crypto space, and it just passed the marijuana is legal over there as well. And I definitely see other countries or actually accepting or legalizing marijuana as well. So I think, change the slogan, start out slow. So imagine if you have this whole place, the whole world in the crypto space. Hey, you know what? We're going to go to High Ass Giraffe's Ass Telegram at this time, if you want to just hang out and smoke weed. Now, I don't smoke weed, but I know all my friends do. It's crazy. and I wish I can enjoy weed, but it makes me I can't even talk to you. I just want to sit there and just relax and not say anything.
Right.
But I think with that though, Adam, I think with that idea though, I think you can slowly build up and imagine if, because I haven't seen one yet. Imagine if now there's a Telegram channel, and eventually, where this is the place where we have a community high together, or whatever you want to call it. I think that'd be really cool, man. I think that can actually spark something.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's enough people that smoke, and then just like you said, you don't smoke, but you have fun with it. You laugh, and the stereotype isn't like it used to be. And we have many members like that too. Like their partner smokes, and they don't smoke, but they're submitting pictures of bongs and different shit, and they're having fun with it because they're open-minded people, and they, they're not stuck in their ways, so to speak. They're they just know how to be a good person and have fun no matter what it is. So it's, yeah, I think it's definitely something that we're gonna be proactive on. And that idea that you said there about a Telegram group for like come hang out for a daily smoke, because it's 420 somewhere a lot of times a day for some, so you could be lucky and catch 8 420s a day if you really wanted to. You'd be hiring a draft ass for sure, but that would be cool. I mean, a place to go toke and hang out and 5-10 minutes bullshit and whatever it may be, but you can learn something new every day in something like that. So and it would be fun. It would promote engagement. I definitely love that idea there, that group thing. Now you got me thinking.
Oh yeah, and imagine if you go on there, you have a bunch of, let's say, even if you start out with, let's say, 3-4 people, that's okay. But slowly you record that, you post it on YouTube, you post it on Twitter, and even on Facebook, right? As we know right now, being in America, a lot of people smoke weed. It's almost like normal now. And even if you run an ad, like an ad that doesn't cost nothing at all, and just pretty much put a message out there, hey, this is where stoners go to every day to smoke. I mean, that's it. I think it's going to blow up. I really think it's going to blow up just because you have a lot of people looking for other people to smoke with, right? It's almost, I don't know, man, like I don't smoke weed, but I know a lot of friends do. And when they smoke weed, they like to hang out with people, just, good people, right? Like really good people. I don't know what weed does, but I feel like weed is actually a lot better than alcohol. I've been around with guys where they drink alcohol, they get angry, there's fights, but I've never been around people that smoke weed and get angry in fights. I've never had. So, I think it's, I think maybe the reason why a lot of people smoke weed nowadays.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I used to drink and smoke, but, I mean, I don't even know the amount of years it's been. It's probably been 8 to 10 years. I quit drinking and for me, it was, the personal thing on you have a couple of beers. I like to be good at what I do, no matter what it is, when I'm doing it. And if I had a cocktail or two, the motor function and everything would go down so fast that I wasn't good at whatever I was trying to do anymore. And that bugged me. So I quit drinking. And then if you look at the health standpoint, I guess just a retrospective on, just a fun fact, I guess, so you go to the gym and you work out 5 to 7 days a week. You're a workout freak. You know what I mean? You're that gym specimen, right? But you go to the bar 2 nights a week and get your drunk on. Well, then now you just offset your entire week of working out because of them 2 days of drinking or whatever it might have been. It's just like, I don't know if anybody's ever been to a brewery or not, but pour some shit in a kettle and put the cover on there for a few months until it really stinks, and then we're gonna drink it. It's like it defies what we want to do as humans. It's like that's not good shit. It's poison, and there's a reason why they, like cannabis was illegal for so long, which they did just change that now, or they're in the process of changing it to a Schedule 3. So the stereotype and the doctors are on board now telling the DEA and that you need to reschedule this because there's way too many medicinal properties in this for you guys to be screwing us over like that. So it's coming into the federal side too, because that's the biggest battle they have is the federal government says it's illegal, but Minnesota or the states say it's legal. Well, then what kind of clarity do we have there? So that's coming with the doctors giving it the nudge. So it's it's revenue from the cannabis side, the crypto side, and you put them together, and the future as a pair is unlimited. And I do quite a bit of legwork, like Twitter, just hanging out with different stoner communities. Reddit, there's a group I'm on. I follow on Reddit. Discord, like any social media is good social media. If you're on it, and if so it's just another another set of eyes. But now all of a sudden you get all those stoner groups, so to speak, or those pro cannabis groups together, and then they come join that group in the that smoking group. Now you got a big, widely vast group together, and I think that's cool because you learn about different. Maybe they grow it different here. It opens up just a whole new world. And in a positive way. Not just about crypto, but it's just, and that's the point. The guy don't want to just live, breathe, die crypto. We want to have some fun along the way and meet people and do things. And this space kind of creates that, I think, so, and by doing that, it's endless where it goes because it's what we want it to be, so to speak,
100%. I have a few friends, and they're executives, right? Fortune 500 companies, and I tell you what, smartest guys, and they smoke weed every day, right? So, and stereotypes are going away, and I don't know how to do it. He does like marathons. Like he just ran literally like a 2-day or 3-day marathon. I don't know how many miles, like 1,000 miles or something like that. Crazy, and he smokes weed every day. So that's just, and he doesn't drink just like you. He doesn't drink. So yeah, so it changed my perspective of weed. Because I'm not gonna lie, years ago I was like, you know what, weed is like, druggies, right? But no, it's actually, I'm starting to understand that it's actually a lot better than alcohol. It's I've known so many people that most intelligent people, like executive, I'm talking about executive, and I'm like, how do you guys operate like this? But if he drinks alcohol, like you said, he would not be able to operate like the way weed does to him. I don't know what it is. I'm not a smoker, so I don't really understand, how what weed does and all that. But I think the stereotype is going away, and I think rightfully so, because like you said, there's a lot of medicinal benefit to it, especially because in marijuana there's called a what is it called, cannabinoid, right, or CBDC. So you have the marijuana side. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, the cannabinoids. Yeah, it's well, and that's in in the byproducts and just in the plants themselves too. The vast indica and sativa and hybrid strains that are tailored the effects of each particular strain to different symptoms that you have to treat. So it's truly remarkable the options that are out there. And that helps with the stereotype because maybe this person does not want to have any type of a mental whatever, but they want to get that pain relief in their shoulder. So this right here, if you take that, it'll be clear as a daisy, and your shoulder pain goes away. So it's showing that too, that medicinal side that people are is helping the stereotype go away, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely gonna take over. because there's a shit ton of people that smoke, and like you said, high up people driving on the freeway, the suit and ties in the Mercedes. You look over, and what do you see? A lighter and a oney in their hand. And it's probably been there for 15 minutes because they're high as a giraffe ass and they're driving. And they don't remember they're holding it in their hand on top of the steering wheel for everybody to see. So it's like you see it everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. Suit and ties. It don't matter. It doesn't matter, and it shouldn't
It doesn't
matter.
matter.
Just like Binance or Solana or AVAX. It shouldn't matter. We are all crypto investors. It does not matter what we use to invest it. Just like it don't matter what type of car we use to get to the party. We're all going to the party, so we might as well have fun the whole time together. You know what I mean? So we try not to be like, breed specific. I mean, we want to get along with everybody.
The funny thing is, the friend I'm talking about, I'm actually the guy that introduced him into the crypto, and we bought XRP together, and he's still holding a big bag of XRP. Actually, he's like, that's the only thing that's actually hold forever. Probably sitting on like around over 100K of XRP, and it bought a long time ago. It went down quite a bit, but I think it's gonna go back up. But he, again, he's a big dude out there, in the real world. And he smokes weed every day. Maybe when you start that group, like a smoke section, I'll talk to him. Maybe he comes over and smoke with you guys.
So, totally. I mean, there's a lot of people famous or well off that aren't scared to. I mean, you look at how successful Snoop Dogg and figures like that, where it's a part of them.
Yeah.
Michael Phelps, how many Olympic gold medals does the man have? High as a giraffe's
Right.
ass. He was swimming away from that giraffe, was fucking chasing him in the pool. So I mean, yeah. I mean, and it should be that way because it's a damn good thing. It just truly is, and and even and projects like this, something like this, to help with stereotypes because it's a positive on something that was a negative, and it's only beneficial. It's not a negative on a negative. It's a good on a bad, and it's gonna outweigh in the end. It already is, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's super fun along the way too. I don't know. I've had the most fun the last few weeks I've ever had in my life just hanging out with people. Usually I'm not a very big people person because most of the people around me are idiots. Well, now we're around a very good group of people. It's fun to hang around them, So it's just been a blessing to say the least.
That's awesome. Yeah. Definitely. I look forward to push that slogan and see you guys build something like that. That'll be really, really awesome to see. All right. So with that being said, Adam, let's talk about your tokenomics. Let's talk about the taxes, where those going, etc.
All right. So currently, right now, the taxes are structured. On the buy side, it's 11% tax goes straight to the XRP rewards, distributed to the holders, like proportionate to what they're holding. 2% on the way in goes to the liquidity, and 2% to the marketing wallet for the buys. And on the sell side, it's that same 11% in XRP rewards. 3% goes to the liquidity pool, and then only 1% to the marketing wallet. So it stays to 15-15 both ways. Just the LP changed a little bit on the out to try to keep that LP pool beefy. You know what I mean? We want to keep that up, and we want to keep building to it. And if it gets too fat, we can't hold it anymore. Well, then we'll flip it back over to the marketing or whatever. So we've got that luxury, so to speak. Current supply or circulating supply right now is 398,463. So we actually we had a 1% burn feature on the contract when it was launched. I was kind of worried we were gonna run out of supply, so to speak, or like if we wanted to have any kind of like utility or options in the future, if our supply got too low, it would really limit our options. So I was kind of thinking about it a lot, and then I just threw it up in the group one day about stopping the burn tax. Like, what do you guys think? Like, we only burnt 5%, but it seemed like a lot. So we got rid of that just to keep some tokens around. I mean, I didn't want to run out. I don't want to have a high price because there's no tokens left. We want to work our way to that market cap with what we have, and make it work. I'd rather have the tokens to work with than no tokens, because then you're really limited. You get the big swings, and that's not healthy either, So, but to date, that 11% rewards tax has paid back 6,244 XRP tokens in 36 days to the holders, to 100, average about 140 holders. So that's a metric shit ton of XRP that was straight back to the holders. And that's like the goal. I mean, that's like the answer to the question of, well, you said you're gonna start this project with to help people recover past losses. Well, that's kind of the explanation to that, so to speak, is just simply hold the bag that I'm giving you my word as a person in control, and I'll make it as transparent and show it that side of it is safe. All you got to do is hold, and then those XRP rewards that you get is kind of what you lost on this project or you lost on that project. Well, a week XRP rewards here helped cover that. So that's kind of where that mindset comes from with to help the people from the past is all you got to do is hold this one, and we're going to give you some of that one to make it back up. So it's not a exact science, but that's the philosophy behind it, so to speak.
All right. So it looks like 11 in, 11 out, correct?
Just on the XRP, yep, for the rewards, yep.
All right, sounds good. All right, yeah, like you mentioned earlier, the rewards need to have volume, right? So I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges with any kind of reward tokens, because you need volume, and that volume you taxed in, the contract sells the token and convert to XRP, and they distribute to the holders, right? So it's almost like you have to do a lot of things simultaneously in order to get the XRP, right? So I think that's where the hardship is. But I think if you create some kind of what we just talked about earlier, where people like a community, which you guys have been doing a great job at it already, but to add further to that, build like a smoke section for sure. I think that's something like once you build like a community where people come in just to hang out, then I think a lot of people just want to be part of community, right? And that's when you build a loyal base, and people just come in, just put me $100 here, $200 there, and just be a part of community. And I think eventually, the community will grow in that way. Because I think rewards token. You remember one point where there's a lot of it's very popular, right? It's very popular, and the stock. It's the reason for that reason is because that external revenue coming in is hard, right? Because you need the volume. But I think with that, what we just spoke about there, Adam, I think if you build that, I think this will drive your project, really help drive the project to the next level. I really believe that.
Oh yeah, I'm highly optimistic, to say the least. But it's not a pipe dream either. It's all realistic, and the big side of like you just mentioned there, of course you need the volume. So it's not that hard now to kind of sustain or to have whatever. When you get a little larger, you might need some assistance. So then that's where we'll use the the dispensary side, where we'll correlate right into it. A percentage of sales of rolling papers or whatever is a direct reflection back to the sustainability of the token of the core of the dispensary. Because that's essentially the core of the dispensary. Anything moving forward is going to be the token, or the brand name. That's what it's going to be, the base of it. And everything will be off of that, and all the attention, so to speak, will be directed back to the token side of it. So that's the the main goal, or any proactive revenue events that the dispensary has, or and such, will filter back to the sustainability of the project, the token itself, just for that reason. And in worst case scenario, we got to have a group vote, community vote down the road, where it's just the 11% is unsustainable. It's just maybe
Right.
It's just we got greedy. It's too much. We got to do something. Well, do we agree on 6, or do we agree on 9, or what can we make work? Let's put our minds together, and let's make this work. And we can do that as we go with the market cap, and with everything. We've got some great minds, and some calculators in there that can they'll make us, and we have the option to adjust that. We're not stuck. So growing, we can make the contract. We can just think we can grow with what we need to, and that's the key. I think is that if we renounce what we have now is what we have, and we're stuck with it. We don't have any of those options. And if we've got the trust and people understand that's why we're not renouncing, and we prove it and we prove it and we prove it and we prove it, then I don't see it like being an issue. And then once it just gets proven and proven and proven, um, I think there's no reason why it shouldn't work, why it can't work, and I'll be the first one to say I'm going to do everything I can do to make it work. But it's a team effort, but you kind of need every group needs a hype man, so to speak, or needs a. But when you got everybody trying to fight to be that hype man, you get a lot of hype, and you get there pretty quick. So it doesn't take much to lead by example, and it filters down pretty fast. So it's going to happen. I think maybe it's too optimistic to think, but just kind of you ever get that gut feeling in your life, and it's kind of like a gut feeling, but yet it's there and it's visible to see. It just has to be pursued, and you have to stay proactive on it. You have to stay up to date with the releases of the regulations to adapt and stay proactive. And that's the only way to be successful at this point, because the regulations aren't there. So we have to build around them, so to speak, but be ready for them when they come out to make a change. So it's a growing thing, but it's a very good growing thing, because we're going to be on the front step of everything that comes out. So that first mover advantage is going to naturally be there if we stay proactive with it.
Yeah, I mean, you have a viral concept in a sense, right? And there's not a lot of projects out there that are doing what you guys do, and so you have the angle that you can be very creative with it and play different angles and to make it go viral as well. But like you mentioned earlier, imagine if you actually obtained the license over in Minnesota, and somehow you could tie that license back into this project somehow, some way, right? It doesn't have to be one entity, right? You can set it to a different entity, but somehow there's a portion of that license going back to the project and do a buyback as well, right? So there's different angles here. Like you said, you guys are very, very early. And the concept, you can make this go viral very easily. I believe you can make it very easily because you have an existing demographic out there that actually love to smoke weed already. So it's a matter about being creative and, like you mentioned, saying proactive, right? And push that narrative.
Yeah, and
But also, Adam, I think what you mentioned is very correct. Right now when things are slow. So the problem with taxes, right, is that you have to kind of balance it out, kind of assess the situation accordingly, right? Higher taxes, yes, it prevents sellers, but at the same time, it also reduce volume, right? So the question is, do you want to have less volume and earn high XRP, or you want to have less tax, but then you get more volume, right? So the community also have to understand that, right? So you can, so you have to balance that and make that adjustment accordingly as well.
Yep, and that's very funny that you brought that up, because it was actually kind of something that we were touching on the other day in the group about the too much tax. It almost fights itself to where it is detrimental. Like there's a magic number where you get the most benefit, and we might be just sustainability wise, just a little bit over that. But this early we're getting away with it, but down the road it's going to have to be dealt with. So it's a very valid point, but the adjustment's the key, and and we have it, so we can adjust as we need. But it's definitely gonna probably have to be done, but it's like gonna be very well talked about and shit before it happens, and and a plan will be set in motion, so to speak. But it wouldn't be a surprise to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you guys are fully aware of the taxes already. But yeah, I mean, it's great that your contract is not renounced and you can always make the adjustment accordingly.
Oh shit! And I was gonna
Awesome,
sorry, I didn't
Adam.
mean to cut you up, but you were talking about the viral thing of it. It just made me spark something. I wanted to bring it up before I forgot. So actually, there was a tweet that went out. I don't know if it was one of the drafts that was getting moved from a zoo or whatever, but it was an SUV pulling a trailer down the road, and it said the caption was something like, "When Bitcoin gets to a million or something, there's gonna be some signs or something like that." And the video showed the truck and trailer going by. It was a high side trailer, the giraffe head sticking out of the trailer, and it was in reference to like when Bitcoin was to a million, and then something about the signs. And then shortly after that, I seen another tweet somebody put up about the asteroid that's coming. The asteroid was 5 giraffes wide. So the scientists are even measuring asteroids in giraffes now. So the viral shit's happening. Like, people don't know they're doing it yet, but they heard highs of giraffes ass, so now they're writing about it, and they don't even know why. So it's happening.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, you're in a your concept. Yeah, there's so many ways to go viral, and like I mentioned, the biggest thing is that you have the existing demographic already that love to smoke weed, right? It's like a daily thing. You just have to find a way to tap into it. All
Yep.
right, brother. Well, it's been a great chat with you, and yeah, I mean, AMAs are never financial advice, guys. I did buy into this token last time, and I'm just gonna just let it sit there. I did earn some XRP already on it. Uh, but yeah, great chat again, Adam. Any last word, brother, before we maybe take one or two questions from the community?
I guess just maybe I forgot to throw in, we do have, we got NFTs on OpenSea and we've got some on Solana side. We got one series on the Solana side. So if you like NFTs and stuff, you know, check them out and stuff. I guess I kind of forgot to mention those, but no, I mean we're always open. Anybody can stop in, ask questions whenever. I don't sleep much, so I'm usually always around, or somebody's in the group. So it's just we gladly answer any question that comes about.
Yeah, and I'll definitely talk to my friend that I talked to you about earlier there. He loves XRP and he loves to smoke weed. So I'm very sure that he will love your project as well and maybe have a smoke session with you.
Totally appreciate that, buddy. Thank you.
Awesome. So with that being said, my man Mike has been keep tracking questions in the room, so he's gonna come on and ask a few questions away.
All right. Thanks, Seattle. Thanks, Adam. Great presentation, brother.
Thank
Speaking
you.
on those NFTs that you just touched on there, first question for the community is talking about how the NFTs have become a significant aspect of the crypto space. Let's go a little more in depth on what you have for collections and how they tie back into the project.
Okay, so we released the first series we came out with was a 1 of 10 series, so there's only 10 of them issued, and they're kind of like the early. If you buy one of these, you're gonna get pretty much grandfathered or whitelisted into any further expansions or releases of the core project. So like you just get an early chance, like a whitelist, and for buying one of those, it doesn't have any actual working utility now because we're waiting till our series comes out the end of March into April there to have a utility NFT that can work, within an ecosystem. So that's still being designed and all that, but we wanted to give some options for people to get an early mover advantage or to stake a claim in it, so to speak. So we threw that set of 10 out there that pretty much gave anybody who hold one of those, kind of like a pass into each wave in the future. But they were pretty spendy. I think $75, so I guess it's not pretty spendy. But for an NFT that doesn't at the time do anything besides what it tells you it's going to do in the future, it's a fair change. And then we use that for marketing and such. So the next set we have, or that we put out, they were just pretty much some produced just to get some exposure, and then any sales from those were gonna get put back into the marketing fund or right back into the project for buybacks or giveaways. Just to get that exposure. If somebody sees a wickedly cool coin picture of a giraffe smoking a joint, and they're like, "Where the hell did that come from?" Well, that's some giraffes. They got these NFTs out. It's just it might spark a conversation, and that's all it takes. So mainly that's what those are for. But then they still have, by owning 5 of that series, it gives you the same entitlement that the first series, like the expensive. So they'll each tie together, but at like a cost appropriate thing. Kind of like if you come in late, you're going to pay just a little bit more than the guys that committed and got in really early for the same in the end, so to speak. So they have to buy 5. But the goal is, and they're written into the contracts too on those NFTs. So it's clearly visible on there, anything that they're going to do in the future, so that it's not just a hearsay thing. It's on the NFTs what they'll do moving forward. So they just kind of open the door for that future utility project NFT bot area. I don't want to say a lot about because I just don't want to give a lot of stuff away, but it's kind of a little ecosystem there within itself, that's going to be pretty cool and pretty slick. But the NFTs are all going to work together in the end. it's just writing the right contract or putting them in motion together to work together. You can pair one with another, or make the contracts intermingle on separate contracts, or try to write one big one to put them all together. There's options. We're going to pursue the most user-friendly approach, but they're all going to have a direct correlation at the end. Like if you hold every series that we came out with, it's going to entitle you to the biggest share of the pool, like of the profit share, because the utility NFTs are going to deal with like the dispensary side of things, because that's where the big revenue is going to come from. You can't really expect just a single NFT line to sustain itself. It has to kind of come from somewhere. So when it's associated in right with the dispensary, almost like a trading card series, so to speak, where people could almost buy the digital copy in the store. So now you got people that didn't know anything about NFTs or nothing, that just came to buy some pot. I mean, what the hell is that? Well, I kind of like that. Can I buy one of those? Yeah, and you'll get 20% off when you come back next week to buy your pot. So now you just introduce somebody to an NFT, because it's just a proactive of just grind, and it pays off in the end. But the NFTs are all meant to have a meaning together in the end, like, because we don't have any staking for them right now. So that one could say that there's absolutely no utility, but yet they have a value, and they're going to have the utility at the end once it's all designed and done. So it's a big picture coming together, and then they're all, because if you got a dispensary, you want to have like NFTs with strains on them. So that's what our Solana ones, the animals getting high, they've got different weed strains and rarities on them. So maybe this week the Granddaddy Perp NFT gets 20% off, but the Jack Hare one only gets 5% off. So it's adding them, so they've got the utility in them. It's just not functioning yet, I guess, if that makes sense, because we just haven't developed that side of it. But we've already prepared for it, with what we've put out there.
Okay, yeah, it's a very interesting way to tie them into the dispensaries. That's actually, can go hand in hand very well, as you have the very catchy Highs of Giraffes Ass project. Why wouldn't that be inside of a cannabis store? So absolutely, I could see that happening.
Oh yeah, totally. And rolling papers, products, anything,
100%. Next community question is about any partnerships or collaborations that you currently have, or maybe are in the pipelines that you could speak on. Do you have any of those, Adam?
Well, we got several. I guess I don't want to say the word partnership out of context with some of them that were maybe not officially partners, but I personally would probably call it that. But on a legal standpoint, maybe one should. I just don't want to get in trouble or get anybody else in trouble. But there's a big group that we work with, like the Chad Chain group was one that I found early on. A group I got to hang out with, and they had a lot of smart people there, and they had some good ideas. So I found a home there, so to speak, and got myself a validator spot and all that. And so the plan is, they're going to have a blockchain coming out, a mainnet, and they're proactive on building. So working with a team like that to either deploy in the future there, or have an option to to have another blockchain, so to speak. I mean, you don't want to spread yourself too thin, but so the Chad guys are more than helpful. Everybody loves a good cup of coffee. I met a couple of guys in the coffee group. They've got one hell of an ecosystem. It's about as professional as I've in the crypto space. I love it there. And it's coffee. It's as simple as it is elegant, and they've got just I highly encourage anybody to check that out. The ecosystem that they're built on, that they have around them, that they've done, it's all in house. I mean, like within, and it's top notch. They've got some staking, they've got some deployer bots, they've got tracker bots. It's all within one, but they're all their own unique bots, and it's a very good place. So we've become good friends with them. Like the Dive Wallet crew, because that's a safe place to store your crypto. And so we wanted to kind of find a wallet that was kind of new, kind of like us, to grow with, and build some kind of relationship. And so we kind of just become friends with the Dive crew. it's a neat wallet. It's safe. I've had no problems with it, and a wallet's as safe as the buttons you click on. You know, you could take the best wallet in the world, and if you click a link or do something wrong, you still open the door. It's not the wallet's fault, you know. So that's a really big area to try to say this or that, but overall usability and stuff like that, and the Telegram group they have, it's been a good experience for me, you know. So a crew like that, like I mentioned, the world record token, we got the Wolf Pack, and we've got the poker guys at Smart Chain Poker, and the Rich Pigs, and you know, that's kind of our poker crew. We hang out and have a good time playing poker, and get together and do little events, you know, working with each other's projects, where maybe the group of guys come over and they play poker one night here, and then next night they go over into their lounge, or you know, or they're always working with new projects, so you get introduced to new projects along the way too. So that's a very good resource to have. Diego there, and I believe it's Mike. There's two of them there that are kind of behind that. They kind of had to, you know, do some stuff to make it working again, and they're doing a great job. It's a really good project. I love poker, so if anybody's into, you know, playing some poker, you get high as a draft ass, you sit at the table, and you get to play some Smart Chain Poker, you know, and it's you know, and that makes it fun when you have partners like that you can actually, you know, use and enjoy. I mean, there's like a lot. I don't want to have any of them mad at me because I forget to mention them, but I mean, it's we just got listed on the Lynx wallet, so I'd like to call them a friend, because I didn't get told the price, but I'm assuming it was a little discount. I don't even know what the prices are, because that was something the community surprised me with. So I became friends with Lynx, and I didn't even know it, but now that I am, I love it, because it's a great little wallet that you don't even have to connect. I guess it's not even a wallet. You don't even connect your wallet. You just put the address in, and it tracks and does all that stuff for you. So you don't even have to connect to anything, but your information is there. It does the tracking and stuff. So it's, you know, there's some other ones kind of out there, but it's a great one. It's a good one. So God, there's a whole bunch more. I mean, I've got a friend's bot, and I whenever I go back screens, I always lose I feel like I get cut off, so I always get scared to go back over to the other screen. But you know, like Dean Tashi, I don't know if anybody knows Dean Tashi. He's a good friend I've made in the space, and he's got some different projects in his groups, and like the Pickboxers and stuff. You know, there's a lot of little close groups that you don't want to like so much like, oh, hey, you got to go buy this. I mean, just because I said, it's just a simple, hey, I met these guys, this group, they're nice, they seem, you know, everything I've done looks okay, but hey, you check it out, see what you think, and you know, but it's just the word of mouth. You know, they might not have heard about it unless somebody said something, or I might not have heard about something unless they did. So it, you know, that little partnership that maybe doesn't mean much, it does in the end, you know, because they all matter. So Sorcery Swap, we got tied in with them like right away. So we're actually like on the meme page with a logo. So that's, you know, that's a pretty sound little niche to be in there, because you know, now you've already kind of got your branding going when you got your logo on a search page, or on a you know, a grid page with the projects on there. When you got your logo sitting next to like, you know, a Pepe or a Shibu, like in the meme category, it's like a sense of, you know, you're in the caliber now, or you're in the, you know, you've got the space. You just got to do something with it now. So that's a really good one over there at the Sorcery Shop, and they got a pretty good project going on. They're constantly updating and doing all the little things to stay up to date with all the different networks, and very, very good community over there too. You know, or like the Paul bot. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that on Telegram, the PAAL. It's an AI bot that like generates words, messages, and stuff for you. Check it out. We've got ours dialed in as an overthinking stone genius that don't take no shit and wasn't born yesterday for the personality. And you'd be surprised. It is a blast. People come in, you can just talk to the thing. You can tell it to toast people, roast people. And we're not even like an official partnership with them, but I shill the hell out of that bot because I love it. And everybody that comes in loves it. And they come back to talk to the bot. So it's just an engagement thing, you know. So it's, and there's a lot of them out there. the more we get our community bigger, the more of these other projects we're getting introduced to because somebody from that project came over, and now we're breaking the ice. Like James and Rip broke the ice with the Safe Moon community for us. So minted me up one of them custom YOLO zombies and hang out, and that's a hell of a community there. So if we can establish friendships with a community like that, well, then that just strengthens us more. So it's a never ending list, I guess, that we try to keep adding to, because in the end, the more the merrier.
100%. Yeah, we actually had Dean Toshi in, great guy. We had him in for Pickboxer. We had him in for Chad Chain. We had Dive Wallet in. We also had Mike and the gang over from Smart Chain Poker. So yeah, all great guys, and it's quite the list for sure.
Yeah, and I know I apologize to anybody that's listening that's on there, and I forgot because we've got there's got to be 15 names we got on there just because we wanted to just, who says we can't share? You don't have to share in your group. It's not like we're putting it in our group to say, oh, you got to do it. We're just doing it because we want to just give people a heads up. So it's just a neutral, it's.
Recognition.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, 100%. Giving them recognition where it deserves it, 100%. Last question for you, Adam, is if you could pick one, maybe two things that have been the most difficult for you to build out, complete, or develop in the project, what would that be since the start?
I guess for me personally, it would be anything on the Solana side, because I hadn't touched Solana at all, to say the least. So, they're all kind of the same, but they all have their own little niches, so to speak. So getting in and figuring out the NFTs for that was a little bit different, but then once I learned it, it was kind of the same theory. But the next battle I have that I can see being a major hurdle is the security side on Solana. I'm kind of worried about, and that's kind of what I wanted to try to do the pre-sale for our Solana before I went on my cruise, but we're not going to push it, and I'm not going to force anything, because like people are kind of starting to shed to light some security flaws over on Solana, and I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't know a lot about them. I haven't done a lot of investigating, but it sparked enough in my mind to say that we need to check on that before we just throw caution to the wind, because at the end of the day, it's people's money on the line, and I don't want to be accountable for that. That's not the goal. So I want to make sure that it's safe to go before we go. And if it's not safe, we're not going to go. It's not a must do thing. So that's my biggest hurdle is that Solana side, just because I'm unfamiliar with it. But it all works the same. But it's almost like you got to meet a new group of people. You got to go break the ice with, because some people are pretty strict on what chains they're on. So that's kind of been the main hurdle, is learning just how that side works, and then getting introduced to the crowd over there. But a lot of the friends know people over there too, or nobody's really specific. So that was probably the hardest hurdle, was just that culture, or that I'm still learning about it, but there's some people that have gotten some red flags in my mind about some features in Solana that I don't know if it was just a particular contract and stuff, or if it's the blockchain in itself. So I don't want to say one way or the other, because I haven't looked into it far enough. So it's going to get looked into. Like I say, we're not going to put anybody's investments or anything at risk because we're in a hurry. What we don't do today, we can do tomorrow. So that's the hardest hurdle, I think.
I appreciate you coming in today, Adam. That's everything that we're going to take for questions today. I just pinned your community back into the chat room here. So that way, if anybody wants to ask any further questions, go ahead and join in over at the Highest Giraffes Ask Telegram and ask any further questions to Adam and the team. And also be part of the community. The great guys here, they're doing some good things. I like where this is going to go. I'm going to be following along in the future as well. Any last words for us, Adam, before we close it up and do a number giveaway?
I guess just want to give a big thank you, for letting us come in the first place and have an attempt at this day, and then thanks for letting us come back after winning the poll. I was looking forward to it the whole time, being from the USA, but just hanging out in the group and talking to some people here. Real good community here, easy to talk to people. Everybody tries to help everybody too. Good humor, everything you kind of need. So I have a blast just hanging out here. So then just being able to do this is it's fun for me, and it's it's knowledgeable, and you learn from people like you that care during these interviews, that actually ask questions that matter, or that what I mean, you think about things that matter. So we can learn on our side too, just by the questions that are asked. So I appreciate you having us back, and I think it was great. I have fun always, but appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank you as well, Adam. And stay in touch like always. Stay in the community, and when you get Solana launched and you get the NFTs and everything in the ecosystem built out, let's get you back in here for sure.
Totally. I'm game.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to do a random number giveaway as soon as I open up the chat back over in US Crypto Group. It's going to be a random number between 1 and 200. One lucky winner will win some cash there. We also have a Twitter giveaway going on right now, Twitter or X, whatever you want to say. All you got to do is go like, retweet, drop a comment there, and stay tuned, because we're also going to have a YouTube $15 opportunity for the community to hop on. Go like, drop a comment there, and we'll be picking a winner tomorrow. Adam, as soon as this is all over, I get everything all uploaded. I'm going to get you over a copy of the YouTube recording as well to your DM.
Perfect. Appreciate it, sir.
All right, guys. Well, this was a great AMA, and we will see you all on the next one. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.